on this episode of the Naturist Living Show, Weirdos.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show is brought to you by Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. At Bear Oaks, we offer traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Free your body, free your mind. www.bearoaks.ca.
Welcome, dear listener, to episode 69 of the Naturist Living Show. My name is Stéphane Deschênes. I'm your host for this podcast and the owner of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. And we're well into the summer now, well into July. This is the July episode, and it's been a great season so far. Things have been really coming together after that long winter. But I'm still hearing about these strange things about the regular world. You know, they call us the weirdos, but here's what these textiles are doing. One of the latest ones is Spanx. Have you heard of Spanx? Well, Spanx are very popular. Somebody made a lot of money inventing Spanx. It's become a very big business. And essentially, it's a modern-day girdle to reshape your body into a shape that it is not. As an ethical naturist, I don't know what to tell you. This seems so wrong, so unethical, so immoral. But I understand why people want to do it, because the world tells them they're supposed to look a certain way, and they are not worthy if they don't. And it's available. It's mostly women, but it is available for men as well. And a friend of mine uses them, whatever. And I was looking into it, and I found this interesting article from Gawker from January. In fact, there was a lot of articles because there was a fair bit of news about how Spanx are bad for you. And this one is called, "Here's a list of all the ways your Spanx are probably killing you." And there are some medical professionals that had some concerns. Here's what some of the things that, according to Gawker, are some of the problems. One of them is erosive esophagitis, and it leaves your stomach, intestine, and colon compressed, which can worsen acid reflux and heartburn. Breathing problems is a second problem. When you inhale, your diaphragm expands, they say. And but the shapewear, the Spanx restricts movement, and it reduces breathing and respiration. Digestive difficulties, when you contract the intestines, the food doesn't move as long as well. Pooping and peeing yourself. If you have a weakness or some tendency towards incontinence, that extra pressure can make that worse and can make it happen. Nerve pain, and anytime you squeeze your body, it can affect the nerves, and especially apparently it leads to something called neuralgia parastica. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's the peripheral nerve in your thighs compressed. It causes tingling and numbing and pain in your legs. It causes circulatory disorders. If you put a rubber band around any part of your arm, it can even lead to blood clots, according to this. And the last one that they list is just lovely, pus-filled infections. And they say shapewear is occlusive, meaning it traps moistures and anything else underneath it, which predisposes shapewear wearers to both yeast and bacterial infection, which is something I've always said about clothes in general, right? I mean, if you keep parts of your body permanently in a dark, warm, moist place, no wonder it gets gross and smelly. And apparently Spanx can make it worse. So, yes, clothing can kill you. Yes, clothing is bad for you. And that brings us back to the book, which we talked about a number of shows ago, and I'll put a link in the show notes to that, called Dress to Kill by Sidney Ross Singer and Soma Grismeyer. And it's that's the point he makes, to restricting circulation, preventing squishing, squeezing. This is not how your body's designed to be. And so, yes, this is exactly, maybe we should call Dr. Singer again and get his opinion on Spanx and talk about that again. In the spring in Canada, as seems to be the habit, the Canadian Cancer Society came out with its usual warning about no sun ever, no sun. Sun is bad, sun is evil, no sun in any circumstances, anytime, anywhere. It's always bad. And if you've been listening to the show for a while, you've caught up to all of the episodes, you know that we had a very interesting discussion on vitamin D and cancer. We interviewed Dr. Michael Holick, who wrote The Vitamin D Solution. Again, I'll put a link to that in the show notes. That was a very interesting interview, a very interesting book to read as well. It's available through the Bear Boutique if you want to order it. We still have some in stock, so I'll put a link to that as well. But you can also get it through Chapters, Indigo, or Amazon, or any of those stores. So feel free to look at it. But what was interesting is I want to thank Scott because he sent me a link to a Nautilus article. And it talks about how America and Canada and the U.S. are similar in their cancer societies thinking on this, talking about how no sun is ever good. Yet how in Australia, the Australian Cancer Society actually talks about getting safe sun, and has changed a lot of their advice to the point where they actually suggest you should spend some time without your shirt closed, with short sleeves, without a hat on, without sunscreen on, to get your vitamin D. This is a country which essentially led the charge against skin cancer and sun because they have so much of it. And they've seen the evidence, and they're actually this far ahead. And they talk about the difference between different skin types and how light-skinned people have to be much more careful, but that dark-skinned people have trouble getting vitamin D. But in North America, people seem to be afraid of being called out as racist if they make those kinds of suggestion that some people with dark skin need more sun. I mean, it to me, it makes all the sense in the world when you just think of the basic evolution of it, right? Whether you think of evolution from a purely scientific standpoint, or if you believe in intelligent design that a superior being made us the way we are, the people further north have light skin. The people near the equator have dark skin, not because they tan, but now we've mixed ourselves up by traveling. But if you look back hundreds, thousands of years, that's the differences. So why is it so important that we would have less sun protection if we are so far north? It means that it's key to our survival. It's key to our metabolism and what we need. So of course we need sun, and that's why it's addictive. That's why, the cancer societies say, and the dermatologists can't understand why they can't stop us from going in the sun and getting a tan, because it feels so good. We know this. Most naturists know this. The sun on your skin is incredible. It's awesome. It's one of the best feelings. And why? Well, the same reason we love sugar and we love fat and we love salt. These are things originally that we needed to survive, and we had trouble getting it. Of course, in case of sugar and salt, we've refined them, and now we can get too much of it. And fat, same thing. And similarly, we've abused the sun, and I'm sure when you abuse the sun, you get skin cancer. I'm sure that's true too. Anything in excess is bad for you. But clearly, sunshine is very important to survival. It from an evolution standpoint, it means that, because the evidence is that we started out as dark skin. So it means that it was so important when we moved into northern climates that those of us with dark skin died, and those of us with lighter skin survived longer to procreate and have offspring, who then, if they had lighter skin, survive even more. That's how important the sun is. So I'll put a link in the show notes to this article in Nautilus and to the Australian Cancer Society. So this show is called Weirdos because well, we're often, at least maybe not to our face, but behind our backs, referred to as weirdos. Weirdos, naked, nude weirdos. Well, I think they're weird. They may be normal in terms of being average, in terms of being like everyone else, but this is not natural. And when you really think about it, when you're a naturist, they really seem weird. Their behavior, the textiles behavior, seems weird. The way we are as ethical naturists is the normal way. The normal way being the right way, the natural way, the healthy way. So, with a little help from my friends, here's why we think they're the weirdos.
It is just so weird to swim wrapped in cloth. Bathing suits, they don't really keep you warm or dry at all. I don't really know why people bother wearing them. They don't really protect you, and let's face it, they don't really hide that much. Quite often, they really just emphasize more of the area they're covering.
It's weird that people say their clothes express their individuality, yet are disappointed because they can't all achieve the same socially dictated body shape.
It's weird, and it seems unhealthy to keep parts of your skin in a dark, warm, and moist environment. No wonder it smells.
It's weird not to be able to use the proper name for some of your body parts.
It's weird that it's bad to be nude in front of others, but it's okay, you're being nude and you're getting paid for it.
It's weird to teach children that some parts of their body are bad or naughty bits.
I tell you, it's weird that people use clothes to elevate themselves above others.
It's weird that walking out your front door as your natural self is a crime in many places.
It's weird that people judge others based on the clothes they wear instead of who they are.
It's weird that some people are so unfamiliar with what genitals look like that they think they're disgusting.
It's weird that people hide the genitals and they are paying to see them on the internet and the sex shops.
It's weird that some think that they need others to wear clothing in order to control their own sexual drive. Why is their lack of self-control our problem? What other urges do they think they can't control?
It's weird to be ashamed, embarrassed, and offended by your own body.
It's weird that people can't be naked with others. Naturists have no problem putting clothes on when necessary.
So, there you go. So next time somebody suggests that you're the weirdo because you like to be clothes-free, because you're a naturist, an ethical naturist, you'll be able to tell them why they're the weirdos. Although, frankly, it's not a good conversion tactic, but to call people names and to insult them that way. But it does, all kidding aside, there's a bit of humor in what we're doing here, but it is a good, to understand the strategy, it is a good tactic to try to reverse the situation and explain what they're doing is the odd one, the unnatural thing to do.
Hey, Felicity, how you doing?
Hey, Stefan. I'm good. How are you?
I am great. It's it's still summer, and it hasn't been the warmest summer, but it's still things are going well at the park, and I just love this time of year. New people, new and all that stuff, and then there's all the weirdos as well, which is the theme of this episode.
Right. Yeah, the weirdos with the clothes.
Yeah, well, exactly. They think we're the weirdos, but that's what people tell me when they get used to it. This seems so normal. And the outside world seemed like the ones with the problems. So, like those people at Terlam at your club, right? I mean,
right? Yeah.
They're offended by nudity when they're not there, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're all weirdos for wanting to swim naked without any covering that serves no purpose, and to want to be naked in a hot tub and naked in a hot sauna, and I guess we're the weirdos for that.
Yeah, they're normal for being bothered by nudity that they can't ever see.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, how's that whole battle going?
It's quieted down, and but we're kind of in the process of restructuring, and because of these issues with the women's business, we actually launched a fundraising campaign a few weeks ago, and we're just looking for the support of the naturist community to help keep our business going.
Oh, okay. So, what's the idea? What are you looking for?
Well, we are looking for people's support just to keep the business open. And, of course, there's also a lot of renovation that we'd like to do. We want to add more showers. We want to add a wet, what do you call it? Like a wet sauna.
Oh, like a steam sauna kind of thing?
Yeah, like a steam sauna. The place just has a lot of potential, and it's pretty big, and of course we want to add all kinds of great things, but right now it's just been tough because summer season's really slow. People aren't even thinking about doing indoor stuff right now. They just want to be at their nudist club, and we just had so much, unexpected costs, as you always do with a new business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we've gotten some good support so far, and we have a little over $3,000, and it'll be an ongoing campaign until mid-September. So, and basically people get a lot of perks. So basically it's like a chance for people to buy their memberships right now ahead of time while it's still summer, and then they don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. They can come. Some of the perks, they get free classes, free massage.
Nice.
Yeah,
so it's not like you're not just looking for donations. You're selling something.
Well, it's not really like selling. It's, basically we said it is a donation, and if the services are not available, people have to be okay with that.
Okay. Yeah. But it's like a lot of the fun, the Kickstarter kind of campaigns is you're selling something in the future, or you're not just asking for charity, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. It's incentive, and it's basically investing in a future place that can be really great.
Good. And are you getting a lot of people visiting?
People are sort of surprised that we actually have been getting some people regularly every Sunday. And people definitely care about the place, and they want to see it be open through the fall and the winter. It's not a big crowd, but we've been getting anywhere from like 10 to 30 people.
Well, in the summer, that's pretty good, because in the summer, people tend to go for the beaches or the clubs outside the city where they can, there's more nature and water and things, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. So it has been a little surprising for us, but we're happy about it, and I think it just shows how busy we'll be once the cold weather comes around.
Good. And do you have any events and things planned?
Well, we have our next event is going to be at a place called The Ledges in Vermont.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah. I've always heard about it. I've always wanted to go, and we decided we wanted to go this summer. We figured we'll make a big trip out of it, and we're going to stay at a place called Abbott's Glen, which is just down the road a few miles away, and camp out there for the weekend. And it's this beautiful, like, natural beauty, and it hasn't been too developed, and it's a reservoir and has this little beachfront on it. It's not like a sand beach, but it's just a beautiful area to go swimming. And it's official, clothing optional, and it's legal because it's Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Not that people can go running around naked in a town, and I try to make people aware of that before they're like, I can go naked anywhere?
It's Vermont that had that case, right, where that was dismissed, where the woman was walking around naked down the street. Was that Vermont?
Probably. That sounds familiar. I know they actually had the Ledges was closed for a short period of time, and then they overturned it. And I've been told that we should definitely not go naked in the town because it's like a sensitive issue, and we weren't planning to. Yeah,
we're not trying to, be in people's faces that way. So
yeah, just causing trouble.
Okay, good. And there was a body painting day at New York City. I saw you were talking about. That seemed up pretty awesome.
Yeah, just a little over a week ago, we did the first ever New York City body painting day with Andy Golub and another artist who organized named Craig Tracy. And we had at least 30 artists that flew in from all over the country, and we painted over 40 naked people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And where was it?
We started out doing all the painting in Columbus Circle, right at the entrance to Central Park. And we had a permit from the Parks Department to do it. And as usual, Andy had cooperation from NYPD, so everything went really well. And then we marched down to Times Square, and took some photos there, and then we actually took a double-decker bus around the city with all the models riding on the upper level, and we took probably half an hour ride. And all the artists were on the bottom, and all of us were on top. So we just were cheering and yelling and waving to people, and it was awesome.
Nice. Now, as we heard from the interview that Joshua did with Andy Golub in the last episode, there's no law or problem, and that's been very clarified. But did you get people offended? Did you get any problems from people who thought that wasn't right?
No, we really didn't have many problems. For the most part, people reacted very positively to it, and you see a lot of people who are very surprised, they don't even smile, they're just kind of dumbfounded by it. They just don't know what to do.
Right.
But there are others, break into big smiles once they see us, and people react. And really, the problem we really have is not so much hecklers as it is people who got their big camera, and they're very clearly using their big lens to zoom in on certain parts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were able to come up really close because of the area we were in. We couldn't really rope off the back side of where we were, so we just had people coming right up. And most of them behave, photographers can be a little difficult when they get in each other's way and they start arguing and stuff, but people behave. But you just have these quote-unquote photographers taking such photos, and you're like, really? You have to do that? I can see what you're doing. I just try to ignore them, but it's a little crazy.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. It's difficult to to say we're okay and then not have some of that happen. I guess you kind of have to ignore that. But it's a little intrusive because what they're doing is so against what we're about,
Yeah, it is. It's disturbing, you think about it, that, maybe some of them are putting it up online on, voyeur websites, and, people are using it in the wrong way and viewing it in the wrong way. But I don't know, you hope that the more you do these kinds of things, the more people can see that, most people got the message of body acceptance and art, that it was about artistic expression and everything. So we got, for the most part, a very good reaction from people.
Good. I noticed there's quite a few pictures posted on Facebook, and I'm surprised that they're still there. I don't know if Facebook has decided that it's okay if there's paint on top of breasts.
No, I don't think they have. I think all it's going to take is one person to just go and click through and report everything.
Yeah.
And I've been in Facebook jail enough times that I'm I don't want to do it anymore, so I just don't.
No.
I let people tag me, but I don't post anymore. It's just.
So if people do want to see pictures of that, is there a place to find it?
Yeah, we just have a recap and a photo gallery on our website, and it's still on the front page, so people can go to yna.me and see photos. And we also have the hashtag people can look up and see photos on Twitter and such, which is NYBPD.
And if they want to be involved or help with Terlam, where's that?
It's an Indiegogo, and you'll have to put a link in the bottom because it's kind of a long. It's kind of a convoluted URL, but...
Is there a link at yna.me to it?
Oh, yeah, and people will see the article on yna.me also.
Awesome. I look forward to hearing more about how that goes.
I'm quite late putting this show together. It's been a very busy summer, all for good reasons. But as a result, I have to include this little addendum. Unfortunately, Terlam has been forced to close. I got the news from Felicity and Joshua. They had, I think they had a good idea, but they just couldn't make it work in the time frame they had with the money they had. There was a number of things that were wrong that they weren't aware of when they bought the club, and that they just couldn't afford to fix. And the summer is not as busy of a time for the health club business because people tend to go away and be on vacation and don't need to exercise indoors because they can go outdoors. So they had to survive through the summer, and unfortunately they ran out of money. They couldn't do it. But they still think it's a great idea, and they might just be able to do it again. I certainly agree that there's a huge opportunity there. So hopefully, if they can't, somebody else will be able to make it work. You may remember last year we had comedians at Bear Oaks, stand-up comedians, 4 women and a man came for the first time and did a whole routine, and it was well received, and I interviewed them on this show. There was a whole podcast on the show about a year ago. And so we did it again for the July 1st long weekend for our volleyball tournament. We invited a whole new set, except for, other than the organizer, but was a whole new set of comedians. And one of them, Jess Beaulieu, wrote actually a really good article online about her experience, which I'll post a link to in the show notes. But I also sat down with them after their routine and discussed what it was like.
Hi, I'm Leanne Mladen, stand-up comic. We just performed here at Bear Oaks.
Hi, I'm Natalie Norman. I performed at Bear Oaks. Also, also the co-host of The Crimson Wave.
What's that?
It's a podcast all about menstruation. I'm Kate Davis. I have my own podcast, woohoo, called Life's Messy Diary of a Dirty Mom.
I'm Jess Beaulieu. I am the other co-host of The Crimson Wave, and I performed here tonight as well.
Okay, I produce the Mary Janes of Comedy show, which these girls are on, and sometimes they let me on their podcast because I don't have my own.
And you organized this. You were here last year.
Yes, yeah.
And last year you had a little trouble finding comedians. How was it this year?
I did. Well, I guess word got out how much fun we had last year, and how cool it was, and just how great the facilities and the people here are. And a lot of comics approached me and said, "Hey, are you doing that show again at the nudist place?" And I was just like, "Yeah, probably." And so I mean, Natalie was one of them. She was as soon as she heard about it, she was like, "Oh my God, do you have room?" And I think you even asked me before we came here last year, right? She was so into it. So first person I thought of was Natalie.
So is it true, or is she a good marketer?
No, I think I really wanted to perform because...
No, I mean, was it as good as you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. I had a blast. I'm really sweaty right now. Oh, thank you. Yeah. You were amazing. You were all amazing. Oh. I didn't know about it. Leanne asked me to do it, and I really honestly had to think about it because I do equate nudity with sexuality for sure. Yeah. And I'm not in my head what I want to look like. So I definitely have body issues for sure. And I definitely feel like I'm so out of my element that I had to do it. Right? So it was interesting because everyone asked me, are you getting paid like thousands, right, to be naked? And I'm like, no, it's for me. And for something for me to experience. So it was really an interesting night.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to another comic. I'm like, no, we're not getting paid to be naked. We're getting paid to tell jokes, and it just happens to be at a nude facility. You know what I mean? But that's where people go right away. They're like, oh, well, if people wanted me to be naked on stage, I'd need a lot of money. It's like, well, that's really like a a side thing, right? We're not getting paid for the nudity. That's just like the outfit we're wearing.
When somebody once told me, I said, well, you're naked all the time, so like you could be a stripper. I said, no, actually I couldn't. That's totally different.
Yeah.
And in fact, it would be harder for me to do that because that would go against everything I believed in. So, it's just like just because you've slept somebody, it doesn't mean you can be a prostitute. I mean, those are all different. Those are different concepts. So,
can I ask you a weird question?
Sure.
Well, because the audience was so white, it didn't seem very multicultural to me.
Yeah.
Is that like generally like? Is it just because I find like African Americans and stuff are so confident with their bodies. I actually thought they'd be totally into being nude and being. It's just interesting. There were no Chinese people here. There were no. I didn't see any black people here. Maybe it's just the night where we came on. I don't know, but I'm just wondering.
Well, given the population of Toronto, I would say minorities are definitely underrepresented. In fact, I did a podcast about that, and it's an interesting question. Traditionally, naturism was started by people from Europe, from Germany, and places where it started.
Okay.
But in today, new people, I'm not sure why. I've been told that in Asian cultures, body shame is way stronger than others, so that's hard. But there are some that come. I know a few, and there's not a lot of people of African Americans, but there are a few that come. But definitely underrepresented. But there's no reason that they shouldn't come or that they shouldn't feel welcome.
Yeah, I just found it interesting.
Yeah, the challenge I have honestly is portraying them in my marketing material because it's hard enough to get anybody to pose naked, and since there's not a lot of people here. It's kind of hard to represent them properly. But if you look at the cartoon things that we've done, I've tried very hard there to be representative because there we can draw anything we want. So that's a good question.
I have to say, it's a great facility.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's clean.
Delightful.
Yeah. It's clean.
Yeah.
Everyone sits on towels, just so you know. Yeah.
And what was it like performing?
Oh my.
I'm picking on you, Jess, because you went up first.
Because I went up, and I feel like I had the most, not difficulty with it, but I was the most affected by it in my performance.
I thought it was charming.
Did you thought it was charming? I was surprised by how affected I was, because I was kind of acting cool beforehand, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine. And then I got up there, and I was like, oh my God, everyone is naked, and I'm naked. Yeah. And there are these bright lights. There's so many things going on in your head as a stand-up comedian as it is, like trying to remember your jokes and the rhythm of everything, and you're like, I'm naked, they're naked, there are children who are naked as they're like listening as well. It just was a lot.
It was a lot. And then I started sweating, and I'm like,
it was so hot.
Now sweat's gonna go in my stomach and in between my legs. It's gonna look gross.
And every time I moved, everything jiggled. Like it was.
I didn't feel that way at all.
You didn't feel
I was more worried about my jokes going over than actually being nude. Like it just felt like a regular comedy show, and it was the same anxiety. Like once everyone's naked, everyone's on the same playing field. It's the same as everyone being dressed. So what does it matter? It's you still got to perform. You still got to do your jokes. So I was like, oh my God, what if these jokes don't work per usual before I perform? So
yeah.
So what was the audience like? How would you compare to other places you've been or performed?
They were exactly the same.
Yeah, I'd say generally.
Yeah, generally exactly the same.
Except you had young people.
Like children, not young people.
No,
but
yeah,
children.
I'd say like generally the age, like for the audience I perform at, is a bit older, maybe for at least like Natalie and I, maybe. Like I feel like you guys do a little bit more like clubby. I don't know, like stuff like the I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I feel. Do you find that, Kay? Like the club audiences are
younger,
older.
It just depends on the night.
Right.
I find the Sunday crowd is pretty younger because a lot of the older crowd has to work.
Yeah.
Right. But Saturday late show is younger, but the early show is older.
Right.
Right. So I think it definitely depends on
just whatever.
Yeah, where it is. But definitely like the hipster crowd or
the downtown.
The downtown core are definitely younger, but they're not children.
No, they're not children. They're more like in their 20s, 30s sort of.
Most of the places that we perform at are over 19. Liquor licensed places that are over 19. Yeah. And that's one thing like that I would say about this place. Like the audience was like really into the show, like right from the start, ready for the show. But what I noticed is like like there aren't people walking around wasted and stuff. Like they've had like a whole volleyball tournament day and a comedy show and karaoke, and like I didn't see anybody being like sloppy drunk, which would really like gross me out at this kind of place, right? You know, right?
Very respectful. I feel. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun, and I, just for the record, we gave all the parents plenty of warning before you guys performed. So some parents just choose to expose their children to life and then explain it later.
It's just too much for me.
It's hard because and then during my set, that one girl walked out and she looked so upset the whole time I was speaking, and I was like, "Oh goodness, what am I doing to her?"
I've been upset for some other reason,
maybe, or maybe she just hated me.
But like, you're talking about periods. Maybe she just got her first period and she's having a hard time dealing with it. You don't know.
Had a tampon stuck inside me. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's different.
I would definitely. Now, are you allowed to do day trips here?
Sure,
as
absolutely.
a person?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see you again.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Maybe we'll all come back for a reunion.
A reunion. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds like Leanne's got a list, so you don't get to perform again.
Well, absolutely. Well, you know what? And if it's the same people, unless you have another hour, you shouldn't.
Yeah, like there were a lot of
repeats.
It was like probably a third of the audience saw last year's show. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to bring different people back.
Absolutely. But you could definitely do this as like maybe a beginning of the season, an end of the season, and have Leanne bring up other comics and stuff like that.
And I can, I can mix it up.
Yeah,
good variety,
or I can MC or whatever.
Well, you guys all had very different materials from the last time. It was a very different performance. So, it's totally different. If you had done it the day after the last one, it would have been totally different. So it would have been fun.
Yeah. Well, we're all different comics, I guess, in the
which is
last
good.
group.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much.
So I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
How can you do a podcast about periods?
Oh my God!
How many episodes can you possibly discuss?
We were on to our 21st episode. Wow. Every week we have a different guest come and tell us their experience of going through menstruation.
I'm on this week. I'll be on this week.
what they're doing.
So no guys, eh?
We've had men on, and they tell stories of their experiences with sleeping with women, or like what it was like growing up in a house with all women. And we've had couples, we've had homosexual couples, we've had hetero couples. We try to keep it open as possible, and it's exciting, and it's always different, because some people come on and tell a really sad, passionate story. Some people come on and tell a really ridiculous story, so it's always different.
Is it comedy?
It's meant to be comedy.
Yeah, it's mostly comedy, yeah. There's a lot of comedy in menstruation.
I guess. I guess I don't know.
I don't know why people get so uncomfortable talking.
I don't want to put my clothes on to get in the car now.
Oh, you don't?
Can I just drive like this?
Well, thank you all for coming. It was awesome having you.
Thank you so much.
We hope to see you again.
Totally.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to be all for this episode of the Naturist Living Show. Thank you as always for listening, and my name is Stéphane Deschênes, and I am your host for this podcast, and I'm the owner of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park, and you can find links to all the things I mentioned in this show in the notes on the website at naturistliving, one word, .Bear Oaks, B-A-R-E, of course, because we're all bear, bearoaks.ca. This show is brought to you clothes-free from East Gwillimbury, Ontario, and I hope you can listen in the same fashion, unless, of course, you're at work or on a bus or in public or something listening on your iPod. But otherwise, I hope you get yourself comfortable when you're listening. So keep sending comments and suggestions. Love getting them. Would love to get more of the audio comments that I can put on the show. If you want to do that, it's very easy. You can try it, you can record it, you can listen to it, you can erase it again, you can redo it as many times as you want. All you have to do is, if you have Skype, go to Bear Oaks, one word, B-A-R-E-O-A-K-S. That puts you into the main phone system for Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park, and then just dial extension 333. And that'll take you directly to the comment line for the Naturist Living Show. Or using a plain old-fashioned telephone, you can dial country code 1, area code 905-473-6060. And once again, you are in the main phone system and for Bear Oaks, and just dial extension 333 for the comment line. But you can also send me an email. I always love reading all your comments. I read them all. I try to respond to as many as possible. Most of them, I think I did get a chance to respond. The show's email address is naturistliving, one word, at Bare Oaks, B-A-R-E, of course, bareoaks.ca. Join us again in about a month for the next episode of the Naturist Living Show.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show was brought to you by Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park. Traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Traditional values means that naturism is more than just taking your clothes off. It is a life philosophy with physical, psychological, environmental, social, and moral benefits. Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park strives to promote those naturist values in a modern setting that provides the amenities and services that our members and visitors expect. Free your body, free your mind. Learn more at www.bareoaks.ca.